victories in the history of major college football. It says I'm OU's winningest head coach ever. But I know that my success was all due to the work of our players, our coaches, and our staff. I was just part of the equation. I was lucky enough to be a link in an OU football chain that began in the late 19th century and resulted in 896 victories, number 7 on the all-time list, 48 conference titles, 7 national championships, and 7 Heisman Trophy winners. Say OU to college football fans from coast to coast, and they'll know what you mean. It is a university of bees. Brian Bosworth, Barry Switzer, Sam Bradford, Billy Vessels, Baker Mayfield, Bud Wilkinson, and Billy Sims. The easy decision would have been to stay at OU, but there was an intersection between the evolution of college football and the evolution of my own life. And when I got to that intersection, I saw the sign, a metaphorical stop sign, and I knew I had fulfilled my purpose at OU. The recruiting, the travel, the late-night phone calls you hope never come, the early morning wake-up calls, the cheaters, the agents, the renegade boosters and alums, the mind-numbing and mind-boggling NCAA rules that often defy logic, the hours, the toll it takes on your family, the media, the social issues, racism, #MeToo, academics, player rights that rightfully deserve and demand your attention, the uninformed expectations. It all became a Molotov cocktail of reasons that it was time to leave. I wasn't beaten down by the job. I loved it. That's why I was so lucky. I got to choose the when, the where, and the how. So many coaches have those decisions made for them. They get fired, or sometimes they just stay too long, which is almost worse. I've never been fired, and I was determined never to stay too long. So I'm standing on a stage in the same building where they have trade shows and car auctions, and I decide this isn't the time or place to explain to the more than 1,200 people seated at 120 tables across a 6-acre facility why I'm no longer OU's football coach. Instead, this is supposed to be a night of celebration, an evening of thank yous. Me to them to me, but I can't shake the idea that it also feels a little bit like a wake, except that I'm not dead. I'm just moving from this stage, from point R to another part of my life, and I'm good with that. I recognize nearly every face in the crowd. There are University of Oklahoma dignitaries, hundreds of former OU players, dozens of former and current assistant coaches, big money boosters, and influential alumni, national and local media representatives, bowl game officials, athletic directors, cheerleaders, and band members, a contingent of family and friends from my hometown of Youngstown, Heisman Trophy winners, and athletic department staff members. Even the event center waitstaff has quit clearing dessert plates in anticipation of the big moment. Police and security details poke their heads into the vast room as the band begins to play the OU anthem, Boomer Sooner. On some sort of invisible cue, the entire audience rises and applauds. Across the way, maybe a 35-yard pass from my small stage to his large stage, is my longtime friend, Toby Keith, the megastar country singer from nearby Moore, Oklahoma. He has his right cowboy boot planted on top of a black speaker box, his guitar resting on his knee. Like everyone else, he is waiting for me to say something, anything. During my 18 seasons as head coach at Oklahoma, I gave hundreds of speeches, did thousands of interviews, made countless public appearances. I called it being Bob Stoops. There's Bob Stoops, the husband, the father, the brother, the son, the friend, the guy who loves nothing better than sitting on a beach drinking a cold beer pulled out of a $3.99 styrofoam cooler, or grilling steaks in the backyard, or trading stories with buddies on the golf course, or sitting in the bleachers watching his kids play sports, or going to church.